Welcome to the Art of Fire. I'm Bruce. Josh is going to be making a beautiful little vase for us today, and it's part of what we call the Signature Series, which is a special design, and we'll show you what the piece looks like, or the coloration looks like. This is one of our signature pieces over here. It's green with stripes through it, and Josh is going to be making it in just a moment. We'll get him started on that. And as you can see, we're busy in the studio today. Todd's making cats. I think he might still be making Maryland cats, not sure. At any rate, Josh is now picking up the color. Okay, so he's got a piece of green, whoop, and he's got it on the floor.
It was still a little cold. So.
Yeah, so get it to stick to the pipe there, and away we go.
Jade green.
Jade green, and with a piece of red will be trailed through it and all mixed up, and Foster's got that on the end of his iron. So feel free to comment, let us know if you have any questions or anything. We'd be glad to answer them. We'll show. We'll also be doing a video afterwards over on Facebook Live. But we enjoy sharing all these with you. All right, so Foster will take a trip to the Marver, our metal table that we use to shape and sometimes cool the glass. He's got that brought to him.
Do we have any folks joining us today?
We don't have anyone with us yet this morning.
Hell yeah.
Got nobody here.
They've given up on us on YouTube.
Nah.
All our failures. So.
No, we've some 30 seconds into it.
Gotta be so many. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Today is Tuesday, isn't it? Ah, Bridget's with us. I was gonna say today's Tuesday, isn't it? Because maybe we got the wrong day and all three of us are off.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bridget. Okay, ready to make a vase here. We call this our Signature Series, is the color pattern. Foster's brought over a piece of red glass. Josh is going to trail that on to the jade green. A lot, and in fact, we call him Sir Lot. No reaction even. Good morning, Joanna. Yeah, he heard it. He heard it. Okay. And Joanna's with us. Good. We got our stalwart crowd with us. That's great. Okay. So for those of you just joining us, Josh is making what we call a signature vase. The signature comes from the color pattern. It's a color pattern that Foster developed years ago and been using with a great deal of success. And this one's going to and a beautiful red that is mixed up throughout it. So Josh has the trail of red on there now, and he's going to use this small tool with a hook in it just to mix the colors up. So the green will be the predominant. And since you all joined us just a couple moments ago, I'll go back over and take another quick look at the sample vase that we have over on the display table while he's heating that up. So we'll zoom in on the one that he's making now, and that's this right here, the beautiful jade green with the red striped out through it, okay? And if you really like our display with all the flowers, join us on Facebook Live in about another, 20 minutes or so. And we're gonna do a whole thing themed on vases, and because there's flowers blooming all around now, we'd like to get a lot of vases out there. Okay, so Josh is getting his color mixed up really well. After he gets a thorough mix on this, he'll be initiating a small bubble in the glass, and then he'll gather over that. Still mixing?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah, I think I got a good overlapping. Because that's
Well,
what
hello.
we really want, is the kind of the green to overlay over the red and kind of mix a little bit. get a good depth out of it.
Foster, we got a question. Did Theta pick all the flowers on display over there?
We picked them up. We picked them up from Safeway.
Ah, they picked them up from Safeway. Okay. The Safeway front yard florist. There we go.
But she
All right.
arranged them and did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Okay. So now he's got the. Now you can see the mixing of the red through the green, and as he blows this out and it gets thinner, expands, you'll see that a lot better. So now a gather of clear glass, and for this particular vase, probably what, 2 gathers?
Yeah, 2 good sized gathers.
Okay. And again with the cherry wood block, basically a wooden cup on the end of a handle. The cherry wood is cut green and shaped. Fruit woods are best because of their tight grain. The wood is kept in water all the time. This is to avoid cracking. It helps us shape the glass. And since it's wet, when it contacts the glass, it creates steam, which is almost like a bed of a lubricant then to help the glass move on it. If it wasn't wet, the glass would stick to it, scar, and all kinds of nasty stuff. So we use that to not only kind of chill the outside and shape it, but mainly to shape, and that's very important here. Also, the ratio of the length to the diameter is very important. If the glass is too short, if you will, just not long enough, or the ratio is off, the bubble doesn't expand well. There you see that color core starting to blow out as it enters the heated area, and now he's got that nicely filled. If the glass is shaped too long in relation to its diameter, the bubble doesn't blow out correctly either then. It doesn't go as far into the piece. So keeping an eye on those things is a really important part of it. And also having just the right blocks helps out too. So now his second gather. Our furnace holds 400 pounds of molten glass. We refill that at least once a week, sometimes twice, depending on how much glass we happen to be making. Josh is taking this over for an immediate reheat. When he gathered, that central pour was a little bit cooler than it had been because he'd been sitting at the bench, and that aids in the gathering. But a quick reheat helps equalize the temperature. You'll notice he picked up a larger block this time, but the ratio of length to diameter is still just about the same. And you can see the steam rising from the block. And you can also see that he's got to fight gravity the whole time. If he stops turning, the glass sags, just like that. Now he's letting it elongate a little bit as he blows. So he's getting the air in that he needs. And he's getting the length at the same time. Now he's going to cut the constriction near the blowing iron. That's what we call the neck or the jack line. The tool that's used to cut that line are called jacks, a pair of metal blades hinged together. And we need to cut that point of constriction so that we can separate it from the blowpipe later on. Swinging back and forth gently. And the glass elongates, then another couple spins until he gets the length he wants. Notice he's got his eye on it the whole time. A little bit of blowing, and you can see the bright glow toward the bottom of the piece. That's where it's still hot, and that's why it expanded down there. Back with the jacks again to reinforce that neckline. That point right there where he's cutting with the tool is where it will intentionally break free of the blowing iron. The manner in which he cuts that neckline is very important for a clean break-off. If it's not constricted tight enough, the glass kind of shatters a little bit right there. We get an uneven, really jagged break. In fact, sometimes if you don't have much of a jack line at all, you can tear out the side of a vessel pretty easily. Now he's making another constriction down here. This is part of the design element. By having these two constrictions here, he's separating it into bodies, if you will. In fact, if you saw him making bunnies last week or the week before, that's kind of the same move that he used to create the head and the body and the ears of a bunny. But this is going to be a vase instead. Multiple uses for the same technique. When we make glass, we generally develop the lower half to 2/3 first, and then we complete the top of the vessel. So what you're looking at here, the largest piece there is going to be the bottom of the vase. And he'll get that all squared away, and the next couple of segments up from that. Then he'll flatten the bottom so that it'll sit evenly on your table. This piece isn't spoken for, is it, Josh? No. So if you would like it, you can contact the studio and it can be yours. At any rate, you can see Josh has got actually about the bottom 3/4 of this piece coming into shape. And as he works his way toward the bottom, he gets everything in a line. And by using the blades on the edge, they act like a straight edge to even out the body parts. So now he's got a nice straight line. Heating all of it up again, so he's probably going to do a little bit more work on the body.
Try to do another heat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just making those lines a little more crisp. And you can see a momentary pause in his turning every once in a while, and that's if he sees something is off center just a hair, he can let it fall back in alignment and get it right. Now, from here you can see that he doesn't have the entire piece into the glory hole. Glory hole is the reheating oven. There's no glass in there. It runs at about 2,300 degrees. By heating just that outboard piece and heating just the bottom of it, he'll be able to move that and flatten it. Yes, it does look like marble, Bridget. All right, so he's going to get that right exactly shaped like he wants it to juncture. And now, with his jacks to hold the bulb in place, Foster flattens the bottom. While Josh is curling the jack blades around like that, and then bringing them down some, that's what keeps that nice round shape down there. Josh right now is giving what we call a flash heat, just enough heat to keep it warm. Foster's picked up a little bit of glass on the end of an iron to make the punty or ponto. And it's kind of like a little glue bit or a bridge, if you will. It's going to stick to the bottom of the piece that Josh is constructing here, and then they will deliberately break the glass. By placing the punty in the center of the piece, you'll be able to turn it later on and it'll stay centered. A little water into the jack line, a tap of the pipe, and the vibration breaks it free. Foster takes it over to begin the reheating process. Now that glass was cold enough to fracture, which means it's going to take a little while before it heats up enough to work the top. Josh will occasionally put the entire piece into the glory hole just for a flash heat to keep it warm, then concentrate his heat on the upper piece, the top of the vessel. You need to keep the glass at least 1,000 degrees or maybe a little more, because if we don't, it would crack. So that's why the reheats, the little flash heats there. So he's going to get this warmed up. Well, great, Bridget. Steve Ellis, good morning to you good afternoon from England. Yes, and good morning here. What part of England, Steve Ellis? All right, now Josh is going to open the lip by using the jack blades and pressing upward. He's able to increase the diameter. You can see it getting larger. We'll get a little end view right here, and you can see that he's made that last bulbous opening a lot bigger. Then what he'll be able to do is turn that out, flip it out for a beautiful.
Debating weather tour now.
Oh, okay. Yorkshire, Northern England, very good. So you're going to just leave it like that?
You can tell it'd be a nice flower vase.
Okay. So sometimes the design elements get dictated in process. Sometimes we go exactly with what we knew we were going to do ahead of time, but right now, by holding the blades in at that angle, you can see that it's formed like a cup on the upper reaches of the vessel. So instead of flaring the lip out and making it flat, he's created a beautiful little cup right on the top.
Like a narcissus vase.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. Like
Yeah.
flowers coming out.
Uh-huh.
Very nice.
Flowers coming out and all. Okay. So now he'll flash that a little bit. Foster will put on a pair of insulated gloves. Josh will get just a little bit of drop of water, and he's going to put that into the joint between the punty and the piece. Then when he taps it, it comes free in Foster's hand, and into the annealer it goes, which is this box of bricks back here. Paper narcissus bulb would go in the cup and flowers would bloom. How about that? Okay, so there we go into the annealer. And thank you, Josh.
Yeah, thank you, folks.
Another beautiful job as always. And thank you, Foster.
And we'll see some of you in 15 minutes.
Yeah, just join us over on Facebook. Actually, 12 minutes from now, we're going to do a theme of vases today, or as everybody else here says, vases, but I'm the holdout on that linguistic aberration. So anyway, since our flowers in bloom all around, we're going to be showing you a lot of different vases for your flowers. So thanks a lot for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Bye.